Can you say something in Uganda?
I can
you
say Jebale.
Jebale Kunyabo.
Jebale Sebo.
Okay. Let's talk about the Nyege experience. How was it?
So Nyege was good and bad. Like, it was amazing and also terrible at the same time. I'm someone who's been to a lot of festivals, especially here in the UK. I'm a big part of festival life. I love festivals. They're like, to me, the best thing a human being can do.
What did you like about Uganda?
What did I like about Uganda? So obviously I love the nature.
You are someone who has grown up in London. Yeah, this is where you spent most of your time.
Yeah.
And now you are in Africa, you are in Uganda. Tell us about Uganda. What did you like?
Okay, so obviously I love the food. Like, I've always loved Ugandan food more than any other food in the world. Even though I've eaten here in London, we have access to so many different cuisines, but Ugandan food, to me, there's nothing like chapati and beans. Like, it's my favorite thing.
It's called chikomando.
Yeah, I know chikomando, but I don't actually like it when it's cut up, put together. I like it separate because I like to eat with my hands and I like to tear the chapati and then eat it. Yes. So I love the food. I also love the softness, I would say. There was a softness to the people, especially the men. There was a more like slowed down softness, but I also hated it too because of how I'm used to a fast-paced life here in London. Like, everything's quick, efficient, determined. Everything has its price. Everything has its way. In Uganda, everything is negotiable.
You have to bargain.
Yeah, everything is negotiable, which is cool.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for accepting this short talk.
Yeah.
It's not like an interview. It's gonna be like a real life talk. Yeah. So real life. Yeah. So can you first start by introducing yourself?
Yeah.
So that the viewers who are gonna watch this video, they can know who you are.
So I'm Nabirah Kalanzi. I'm also known as Nabirah. I'm a storyteller. I'm a poet, spoken word artist. I'm a nomad.
I don't usually do interviews or talks in English. So can you be a little bit
slower? Okay, yeah. So I'm Nabirah Kalanzi, also known as Nabirah.
Oh, so you are Nabirah Kalanzi.
Yes.
You're Ugandan?
I am indeed.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Because I got to know you from your mother, Keti Kalanzi. And then I was interested in your story when she told me that you booked a one-way ticket to Uganda all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So how did that come to? Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So it was a one-way ticket to East Africa. So I was traveling through Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda for the last 4 months and a half. I felt just the call to go home. I felt like my grandfather's spirit was calling me home. I'm someone who's always wanted to come home to Uganda ever since I was 14 and I came back to London. And so it was always part of my plans, but something I thought I would do later rather than sooner. But I just felt the call this year. So I packed up everything. I got a flight and I've been traveling around. I was in Uganda for the last 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah. And I traveled through Kampala. I lived in Fort Portal for a while.
I've never been to Fort Portal, but I hear it's beautiful. So
it's so beautiful.
December, I want to go to Fort Portal.
No, you have to go to Fort Portal. Even me, like, I'd never been when I lived in Uganda, but my friends used to go there, and I used to see how beautiful it was.
Yes.
And also because of the phenomenon of the nature with the lake. There's like 52 or 54 lakes, and the mountains of the moon, and there's lush forestry. And it's just so much more simple and easier there.
Yes. I'm listening. Go on.
Yeah, so I was living there because that was always my plan, to live by the lake, somewhere beautiful, in a tree house with the land, learn the stories.
So you love nature.
I do.
So all of a sudden, you decided you're going to pack your bags and then you're going to Africa.
Yeah.
So like, you were born here in
Yes, so I was
London.
born in London, and then I went to Uganda when I was 9 years old, and then I schooled at loads of different schools. I went to Green Hill, I went to Aga Khan, and then I came back to London when I was 14. And since I was 14, I've only ever been back twice. The last time before I traveled recently was when I was 22 years old. And ever since then, and when I was 14, I've always wanted to go home because I've always considered Uganda as home.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I love Uganda.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love Uganda too.
So you went through Tanzania and then you went to Uganda. How was Tanzania?
Tanzania was very different because I'd lived in Kenya for 1 year when I was younger as well. But Tanzania, I'd never been there. And Tanzania, you know, is more of a Muslim country. There's less Muzungus, there's less foreigners. Like I didn't see any white people while I was there. If anything, me and my friend were the lightest people around. And there's also less what do you call it? Less I don't know, less being up Muzungu's asses in Tanzania, in a way.
I think you were supposed to go to Zanzibar. I think the Bazungus always go to Zanzibar.
Yeah, no, but I liked it. I liked that. I was in Dar es Salaam. I liked that, you know, Muzungus or foreigners weren't treated better than everyone else. It was like, no, like you don't mean more to us than our own people.
Oh, that's nice.
And I liked that. But it was way slower there. People didn't have as much fun as we do in Uganda. You know, we're known for that.
Let's talk about Uganda.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you are putting on a chikoi.
I am.
Do you know how it's called in Uganda?
No, I didn't know the Luganda term.
It's called a chikoi.
Yeah.
This is very nice. It represents Uganda. What did you like about Uganda?
What did I like about Uganda? So obviously
Because
I love the nature.
You are someone who has grown up in London. Yeah, this is where you spent most of your time.
Yeah.
And now you are in Africa, you are in Uganda. Tell us about Uganda. What did you like?
Okay, so obviously I love the food. Like I've always loved Ugandan food more than any other food in the world. Even though I've eaten here in London, we have access to so many different cuisines, but Ugandan food, to me, there's nothing like chapati and beans. Like, it's my favorite thing.
It's called chikomando.
Yeah, I know chikomando, but I don't actually like it when it's cut up, put together. I like it separate because I like to eat with my hands and I like to tear the chapati and then eat it. Yes. So I love the food. I also love the softness, I would say. There was a softness to the people, especially the men. There was a more like slowed down softness, but I also hated it too because of how I'm used to a fast-paced life here in London. Like everything's quick, efficient, determined. Everything has its price. Everything has its way. In Uganda, everything is negotiable.
You have to bargain.
Yeah, everything is negotiable, which is cool because it means you can get, you know, far more for far less. It means you can do what you want sometimes. You know, you can. I once, you know, asked a Boda driver if I could sit back to back with him on the motorbike.
Oh, so you were sitting on a Boda?
Yeah, but I was sitting on the back. Oh yeah, I traveled only by Boda. I really love Bodas. I really love Bodas. Like being back in London, having to go on these like the underground to wait for the bus. It's just not as fun as a Boda.
Yeah, the Boda is like fast and it takes you everywhere.
Everywhere at any moment, at any time. I love it.
Yeah, you know, like in Uganda, some people when they are like losing time and they want to get to the airport, some guys just use a border.
Yeah.
They carry their luggage, big bag, and then.
That's what I did when I was going from Kenya to Uganda because I last minute decided to get a bus that day. So I literally had to get to the bus station and then we were in traffic. So we got out of the car, put my suitcase on the border, and then I got on the border, and then we got there in time. And, you know, I was so scared, and everyone was like, it's fine, we'll get there.
Wow, that's really interesting. So you were like backpacking?
Essentially, yeah, but with a suitcase. Yeah, I didn't plan to. Like, obviously,
so you went from Kenya to Uganda with a bus?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I love traveling by bus because you get to see the whole landscape. You know, I got to see like zebras when I was going from Kilifi to Nairobi. I love it. I love seeing. One thing I love about Uganda or East Africa, maybe even Africa in general, I assume, is the greenery. It's so green.
Uganda
it's so
is so
vibrant. It's so beautiful.
The weather.
Yeah, the weather. But it was rainy season, so.
Oh, you went during the rainy season.
Yes, I didn't know, and
you
no
see
one
some
told
floods?
me. Did I see some? No, I didn't
Floods.
see any floods, but I heard of some. The rain was incredible, though. I love the rain. I love water. I love it.
I love the rain in Europe.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, but the rain in Uganda, it's fresh.
Yes.
But the only problem is the mud.
Floods. Yeah, the mud. Yeah, but the thunderstorms, some of the thunderstorms I saw were just amazing. Yeah, I love that. I love that people wait for the rain here. People would never wait for the rain.
Can you say something in Uganda?
I can
you
say Jebale.
Jebale kunyabo.
Jebale Sebo.
Okay.
What can I say? I can
And
say
how do you ask for food?
I did not ask for it. What I can say Luombo. I can say
You like luombo?
I love Luombo.
Which
love-
type of luombo?
Matoke with the meat stew.
But
But then I also love the fish stew as
luombo
well.
renyama.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
What else can I say in Uganda?
The groundnuts.
Yeah, I like groundnuts. It's not my favorite thing, but I like it.
So apart from Fort Portal, which other places did you visit?
So I was mostly in Fort Portal because that was the place I always wanted to go back to because I knew it was just the most beautiful place.
Did you try to climb the mountain?
No.
Standard?
It was near my birthday actually, so I went there. I made sure I was there on my birthday, and then my friend offered me to go climbing, and then I was like, should I go climbing? And then I realized I had barely walked in a while because of the borders. I did not have the capacity yet to climb, but I do plan to climb one day.
Yeah, take a drink.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Be simple. You know? Everything is good. So that's Uganda. So what's your favorite place in Uganda?
Well, I'd say Fort Portal for now. I haven't traveled enough around.
So you prefer Fort Portal? So Fort Portal is better than Kampala for you?
Well, it depends because Fort Portal is peaceful and beautiful, and it's so much more it's what I desire for my long term in life. But then I realized while I was out there that I do love the chaos of the city. I do love clubbing. I do love raving. I do love sometimes the hustle, just things happening. So I realized I like both, but I do think Fort Portal is it's so beautiful with all the lakes, it's not comparable.
Let's talk about Nyege. We saw you in the news.
Yeah, so I was going to say another place because I'd never been to that part.
Say it.
To Ginger. It wasn't Ginger, it was Itanda Falls. And it's so beautiful there. Crossing the lake to go to the festival was one of the highlights of my experience.
So you guys had to cross the lake?
Yeah, so me and my friends decided to stay at a lodge nearby and not camp there because we were worried about the rain, which was a good and bad decision in itself. But it was a beautiful experience because we'd have to get borders for 20 minutes through the village. And I literally would wave at every single child I saw. They were so beautiful and so happy. Yes. It was incredible. And then we'd have to cross the lake on the boat. And it was so, humbling. For me, I've always, as a poet, as a spoken word artist, I've talked a lot about Lake Victoria, the River Nile, its significance in human history, in my history. I consider myself to be of the Nile because I'm Ugandan and also Yemeni and Egyptian. So I consider myself to be from the River Nile because a lot of our ancestors, traveled along it. So
they had to walk from the source of the River Nile to Egypt.
Yeah, and also trade, and so being there on the Nile was it was beautiful. But yeah, Nyege.
I was at the source also in December.
Yeah,
last year.
Yeah,
I love Ginger. It's very quiet and peaceful as well. I've never been to Fort Portal.
I think I'll try in the Ginger next time, and then you can go to Fort Portal.
Yeah, no, sure. So. Let's talk about the Nyege experience. How was it?
So Nyege was good and bad. It was amazing and also terrible at the same time. I'm someone who's been to a lot of festivals, especially here in the UK. I'm a big part of festival life. I love festivals. They're to me the best thing a human being can do. ever. Like, you know, it's music, it's vibes, you meet people, you fall in love, it's beautiful scenery, you wear amazing outfits, you know, people are more open. Festivals are the best, you know?
Yeah.
So I was really looking forward to Nyege. Like, I'd booked my ticket just before to come back to London because I was at my, like, you know, I need to come back, I need to work, I need to do things. But I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Nyege. And, you know, I knew a lot of the DJs playing there as well that I'd met recently, and they were incredible. And their sets were, like, phenomenal. Like, they just, like, some of the music and the sets I've heard there are way better than anything I've heard here, like, ever. 100%. Like,
so the set of the DJs at Nyege,
yeah, the music was insane, like next level. Like, I'm a raver. I have many DJ friends here, but it was insane the degree to which people took us on journeys and were able to introduce me to music from around the world, and the way people were dancing. Like, you know, I know now that Nyege means the uncontrollable urge to dance, and everyone was. I saw this dance battle that was just phenomenal, you know.
Nice.
I saw the Burundi drummers that just, I was crying the whole time watching them because they were just so beautiful. And for me, they were such a representation of, like, of black excellence, of black men being excellent, of black men being incredible and powerful and connected to the earth.
Black empowerment.
Yes, but also to see black men, because, you know, I come from London. I consume a lot of African American culture. A lot of black men are incarcerated around the world. A lot of black men don't know that their worth or know how to be because of they've been criminalized or painted in a certain way. So to see these men just drumming and singing, and it was just beautiful. And I remember watching them, and I was literally just crying because it was just so beautiful. And they were giving the drumsticks to other people to try. And I remember sitting there because I was so weak and tired, and I was almost scared for them to give it to me because I almost didn't want to. I didn't want to not be as good as everyone else at the drum as well. Like, I wanted to really pay homage. So when they gave it to me, I just let that go, and I just went for it, and I just drummed with all my heart and soul. And yeah, my fucking breast fell out during, you know, I wasn't really aware of it in the moment because I was just in the moment with the drums.
You were happy.
Yeah, I was more than happy. I was connected to the divine. I was celebrating our culture, celebrating being a part of the culture, celebrating the fact that our culture isn't dead. You know, I live in London where I'm taught so much about colonization, about slavery, about how much we've lost our African ways, you know? So to see it alive, it took my heart away, you know?
That's really nice. That's really nice. So, I've never been to a Nyege festival.
You need to go.
Did you sleep in a tent, or you booked a lodge somewhere?
So I booked a lodge, but I did stay in a tent 2 of the nights at a friend's just because I was too tired to leave the site and go on the boat. But like I said, so there's so many good things about Nyege, but then also Nyege, like some of the tents, there wasn't enough tents for artists. A lot of the cottages that were on site weren't built yet. The security was terrible. I got robbed for the first time in my life.
Wow, what did they steal?
My backpack that had some stuff. Luckily, I'd put my phone away at the artist thingy. But everyone got robbed. Everyone got robbed in some way or another.
So people got robbed at Nyege.
Continuously. And I know that theft is a huge thing in East Africa and in Uganda. You know, everyone was always reminding me, take care of your phone. But when I arrived on Thursday, I saw a whole encampment of police with guns, I might add. I'm not used to being around guns.
Yes.
That's weird. I saw like at least 100 officers with guns.
Big guns.
Yeah, so apparently there's security, and then there was no security.
Everyone
was getting robbed. No, there was no security. It was really actually, like, for me, some of the horror stories I heard from some people at the festival, there were women getting raped at the festival. There were people whose belongings, there was no safety. And for me, personally, safety is a big thing for me. Personally, as a woman, as a black woman, but especially as someone going to a festival, you know, you pay for a festival. You pay to be there. You pay for the extortionate, you know, food and everything. The least you deserve is security.
To be secure.
Yeah, and I just feel like, okay, I understand that it was a new site and they were getting their bearings, but I feel like there was a lack of negligence from the organizers, from whoever was in charge of security.
Next time they must improve their security.
No, they should, or it shouldn't happen, to be honest. When Nyege was going to be cancelled because of indecency, that for me is ridiculous and stupid and insane and a publicity stunt. But I'm at a point where I'm like, no, it should be cancelled if they're not going to take care of the artists, if they're not going to take care of the women there, the vulnerable people there. It was ridiculous. It broke my heart, to be honest.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, like, it was just like, you shouldn't be charging people this amount. If you knew you weren't ready, then postpone it, then or make it ready. Do what you can. For me, as a festival goer,
this video, yeah, you know, like it's gonna be watched with like with the organizers. So next time they have, because people have been complaining.
Yeah, this is my message as well, because I'm someone who will always call out things. You know, Nyege was so beautiful to so many degrees. I met so many incredible people, so much amazing music. Like I said, I had so much fun. But I'm also lucky that I guess I consider myself, Nyege helped me realize that I don't fear men anymore. They should fear me. Nyege was when I realized I have nothing to fear, that actually anyone who comes against me has a problem. But I'm lucky enough that I'm strong enough to hold that belief about myself. We shouldn't have to, I shouldn't have to be worried about protecting myself in life anyways, but at a festival especially. Especially as a woman. And I feel like I had to have so many conversations at the festival with different men about what are we doing to protect women more? What are we doing to make sure that it's a safe place for everyone, including your friends, including your sisters, including your lovers? Like, yeah, I think that's something that I realized we need to talk about it more. Yeah.
So apart from you being robbed, you still had fun, and then you like the Ugandan food.
Love it.
You like the borders.
Yeah.
But you're still scared of guns. You saw many guns.
Yeah, man. Guns for me is just
people
not
going
okay.
to war.
Yeah, it's so... the only time I've ever seen guns before is in the movies, you know, really and truly. And sometimes I say that, thank God I wasn't born in America. Like, so I know people think I have an American accent, but it's not like that. It's just different cultures, different schools. But sometimes I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not a black person growing up in America, because you literally can die because of the color of your skin or where you live. And in England, there has been a recent introduction of guns, but it's not as common. So being, you know, in Uganda, seeing guns just very casually, fair enough in the city, I understand that technically, but at a festival, then you assume those guns are there to protect you. But then actually, I heard many stories of police actually the ones committing the robberies, you know?
Yeah.
So then it was just like, okay, this is not okay. Like, this is not safe.
Yes. Yeah, but apart from that, you still came back safe. So do you plan to live in Uganda in future?
I mean, yeah, I was
Your mom has
destined
got a
to live in
beautiful
Uganda.
house.
Yeah, she's building it now. I tend...
Did you visit the site?
No, I did not.
Why?
Yeah.
You didn't even have time to visit the site?
I did not, apparently.
Why?